Hi, everybody, and good evening. Welcome to tonight's Joe and Joe Weather Show on the 4th of May, 2021. The Joe and Joe Weather Show brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware. They've got mulch and much more to make your yard the best looking yard in the neighborhood. Now, if it could ever stop raining long enough in some places, you might be able to put the mulch down. 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon. 631-756-1125, the phone number. Best prices in town, particularly these days. If you haven't been to your big box hardware store, prices have gone through the roof for everything, including landscaping and plants. I can't believe how expensive annuals were. Anyhow, give them a call or go to the website omnitruevalue.com. And Joe Rayo is on my left. I'm Joe Chaffee. For those of you who are joining the show for the first time, welcome aboard. And I was thinking during this afternoon, if there's one thing that's probably more difficult than figuring out the bands of the 1 inch, 2 inch, 4 inch, and 8 inch snowfalls, it's trying to figure out a warm front in the springtime, because you're going to be right, except for probably 30 miles either side of wherever that warm front is. And who knows where that warm front ultimately winds up. And that led to some screwy temperatures in some places. Some spots didn't get much out of the upper 50s and low 60s. Other places got into the 80s. And I hate spring. I really do. It's the worst. It's just the worst time of year.
Well, it started out dull and dank and dreary this morning, but slowly but surely, beginning around 1 or 2 o'clock this afternoon, and up in my neck of the woods, the sun slowly began breaking through. And by the time we got to about 5 or 5:30, Joe, it was a day where instead of that milky sky, we had billowing cumulus clouds, big patches of blue, and intervals of not hazy sun but bright sunshine. So it slowly evolved into a very lovely day. I don't know what our high was here, but I suspect that we did get into the 70s at least during this afternoon.
Yeah, it was the same. I know on Long Island on days like today, excuse me, the sun angle is high enough where it does tend to rip through the clouds in inland spots first, and then kind of works its way toward the North Shore and then toward the South Shore. Sort of opens up in the middle and then expands to either side. But trying to figure that out is always a dicey proposition. And in the meantime, we've got another night of very, very active, severe weather in the South, and again, once again, probably for the fourth or fifth time, we're seeing the target zone in the middle of the Gulf states there, from Louisiana on eastward through Mississippi and Alabama. The Storm Prediction Center at the moment has uh, one very large tornado watch, and they just issued, I'm going to freshen this up because it looks like they just issued a new severe thunderstorm watch. We'll get the parameters on this in a moment. This is for southeastern Alabama, the Florida Panhandle, southwestern Georgia. Actually, it was issued about 18 minutes ago. The other tornado watch, they're talking about an area in central Alabama for the possibility, on a special discussion, for the possibility of some tornadic activity. And they actually just have a recent tornado warning. Just a heads up to everybody. Of course, if you're watching this on a replay, if you're not watching it live, obviously the radars are going to be dated. So you absolutely do want to go to your local National Weather Service forecast office to get the latest weather information regarding any severe weather that's going on in your neck of the woods. And you can do that by just going to weather.gov. But they went with a moderate risk here earlier today. In east parts of southeastern Louisiana, a good chunk of Mississippi, and into Alabama, and it's been playing out according to plan. I was looking at our tornado HQ, Joe. There's a tornado warning right now for Montgomery County. So that is in the city of Montgomery in Alabama. And one, two, three, four, five, six, seven severe thunderstorm warnings surrounding that, running up and down from Mobile up to Montgomery and then on up to Auburn. And those thunderstorms are now also extending into northwestern Georgia, and I'm probably about to get into another round of heavy rain here because it's been pouring pretty much nonstop all day long.
Yeah, there's a nice, well, I won't say nice, but there is a significant streak of what looks to be some heavy duty shower and thunderstorm activity over east central sections of Alabama, Joe. And my presumption is that if it continues to hold together and continues to move on an easterly trajectory, that you may very well get into that, oh, maybe in the next 3 or 4 hours. So I know it to you, it has never seemed to end today, but here you go again as we move into the overnight hours. Now, for us up here, I did notice that the Storm Prediction Center moved the marginal risk area a little closer to us as opposed to earlier in the day. I'm not sure whether or not they uh, feel that we, here in the immediate tri-state area, will get into any significant activity. If we do see any of that, it probably will come sometime later tonight, later this evening. Right now, I do see some activity, not really all that noteworthy in northeastern Pennsylvania, and a few more showers and storms over in Delaware, down across the Delmarva Peninsula, and also a scattering of shower activity across central and western sections of Pennsylvania.
There are three severe thunderstorm warnings up in South Carolina, northwest of Charleston, and also north of Charleston. Further north, there's some heavy thunderstorms in eastern North Carolina and southeastern Virginia, and up the Delmarva Peninsula into Delaware. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 severe thunderstorm warnings in a north-south fashion. 1, 2, 3, 4 special marine warnings that are up. And I'm just kind of looking at the radar. There's a cluster of showers and storms midway between Williamsport and then extending to just west of Scranton. So there's and then northward from there up to just south of Binghamton. So there's a fairly decent looking cluster of storms that's formed there, and some scattered stuff out further to the west between Harrisburg and northwest of Harrisburg. There's one well east of State College, others surrounding Altoona, another one southwest of Pittsburgh, and on the Ohio side, seeing some heavy downpours and maybe a thunderstorm there near Youngstown, Ohio. Also, some thunderstorms showing up on the radar in Kentucky, in eastern Kentucky, and down in the state of Tennessee and western Tennessee, and on the Arkansas-Tennessee state line. There's a line of storms that just passed Jonesboro, west-northwest of Memphis, and we have a new severe thunderstorm warning just west of Memphis there. Yeah, another crazy night here. Here's how it looks on the wider loop. And I'm just going to give it a quick refresh because it's just a little bit old. So let's just make sure we got the latest one. That's a nice snaky looking line. I hate the word nice is not the right word. Impressive. Let's just say impressive line of storms there snaking down through Alabama into southern Mississippi and parts of southeastern Louisiana. It looks like going just north of New Orleans. And all of this is going to be part of this next low that's developing. And I think it's, what I did was, Joe, I mentioned that there could be a shower. I covered for the possibility that, a sneaky shower or thunderstorm this evening and tonight with what's going into Pennsylvania. It's hard to know whether that stuff survives or not. But then tomorrow morning, there should be a fairly decent round of rain and maybe even a few thunderstorms in the mix there as a low gets going, finally pushes a cold front through here early tomorrow afternoon. And then I think weather conditions should start to improve later tomorrow afternoon, setting us up for the one nice day this week, and that's going to be Thursday.
Yeah, I think Thursday will be not a bad day at all. I think we're going to see just a few thin, lacy high clouds in the sky, but should get into the low and mid 60s in most areas. A goodly amount of sunshine, a dry day coming up, and that'll be the interlude between wetness for tomorrow, and another round of wetness probably coming in later on Friday. I'm wondering, Joe, what you thought about the weekend based upon what I looked at today. All of a sudden, it doesn't look like it's so cold, cut, and dry for dry weather on Saturday. It looks like showers may linger, I think, for a good part of the day Saturday now. And then the question for Mother's Day Sunday, will showers arrive by later on in the day or toward evening, or will they rush in for the middle part of the day on Sunday? So this does not look like a great weekend coming up. It looks
No,
like both are going to be unfortunately touched by some form of precipitation
you got
Saturday and Sunday.
the issue for Saturday now, although that might buy you some time on Friday because the upper the you're going to get this low that's going to develop off the North Carolina coast and run out east northeast. But the models are strengthening it and slowing it down, and as a result, the upper trough that's swinging eastward is also slower to get here. So if it's slower to get here, it's slower to get out of the way, which is why it's got the lingering showers in the northeast on Saturday. Not that it's a widespread area, of showers that covers every, blankets all the geography. There'll be dry periods in there, but you can't rule out that there might be some showers running around on Saturday. And then, yeah, I kind of decided to keep Sunday morning dry and then bring it in from west to east, early to mid afternoon, and then that goes on into Monday morning. So it's a very, very busy pattern. It's a very active pattern. And also with respect to risk, let's just take a look at the Storm Prediction Center's set up for risk areas. Now we have tonight's, of course, and we continue to see that moderate risk in that area down in Mississippi and western Alabama, enhanced risk surrounding that. The slight risk surrounds that and extends up into western Kentucky, western Tennessee, into South Carolina. Certainly the warnings that we're seeing are playing according to plan. Slight risk also northern North Carolina, a good chunk of the state of Virginia into the Delmarva Peninsula, as we've seen those storms and warnings that we showed you on the radar earlier. Marginal risk tonight from, basically from Cape May to the northwest county of New Jersey, the northwest corner of New Jersey on westward and into southern New York. So that probably means that some of the stuff that's scattered around on the radar has the potential. You could get the odd thunderstorm that could bubble up into something stronger. And then for tomorrow, SPC, originally they had the northern edge of marginal risk up to New York City. Then they moved it down this morning so that it is in southern New Jersey, Atlantic City, maybe southward. That's where they left it here on their forecast. Southern New Jersey, down into Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, and then right through the Carolinas, down to southern Georgia, northwest Florida, through the Panhandle, and extending into southeastern Louisiana. So that's all a marginal risk. I don't expect that, by the way. If we were going to get this front to come through late tomorrow afternoon or evening, where we could get decidedly warm sectored for a little while, I might jump on the idea that maybe they'll extend the marginal risk northward and add a little slight risk. I don't think we're going to see that. It's possible that we could see slight risk added in the southern areas of this marginal risk zone, maybe coastal North Carolina, down into southern Georgia and over into the Florida, the Panhandle. But that's about the extent of it as far as I'm the way I see it.
A lot is going to depend upon whether or not a little ripple or wave of low pressure takes form late tonight or early tomorrow on that warm front. Of course, if that happens, that likely will keep the warm front south of us, and we may never really get into the warm sector. On the other hand, if that little wave is weaker or doesn't form at all, the warm front could possibly bump up across New York City and Long Island, maybe even points north for a short while. And then we just turn to the west and wait for the cold front to move through from eastern Pennsylvania and western New Jersey. That could happen maybe as early as 11 or 12 or 1 o'clock. And then after that, with northwesterly winds kicking in, we could see a drying trend, enough of a drying trend to maybe even allow for a bit of clearing or a little sunshine toward the end of the day tomorrow, continued clearing tomorrow night, and setting the stage for a nice day, as we just noted, on Thursday.
I am trying here to load up the max temperatures today, just to give everybody an idea of the widespread ranges. Now, Barry Goldberg was posting earlier. He got to 76, and he's just north of Caldwell. So I'm seeing a 75 for Caldwell as a high. Ooh, I clicked on a button, and I clicked on it, and it says forbidden. I guess I'm forbidden to click on the temperature to get more information. 82 for Mike. Was it Mike Azera who said 82? Temp jumped to 82 on his weather station in Trenton. 82. Hold on, I got to get my mouse here. Hang on a second. There you go. Philadelphia got to 82 at the airport. 84 in Wilmington. 88 in Baltimore. But meanwhile, Boston today, 55, Joe, for a high. And right now it's 52. Okay. They got to 55 for a high, and it's 52. In Connecticut, Willimantic, 55 at the moment. Their high was 57. Sturbridge, 54 at the moment. Their high was 56. Cape Cod, 46 right now at Provincetown Municipal Airport, and
Ouch.
it's 50 for the high there. Chatham also getting up to 50. So you can see the impact of the warm front here, where temperatures just struggled all day long in southern and southeastern New England and over Long Island. A few spots on Long Island did manage to get to 70 or a little bit better, but those were few and far between. Most of Suffolk County stayed pretty much in the 60s. And of course, if you look further south, you're going to see those temperatures really heated up. 91 in James, 91 in Wakefield. In North Carolina, we saw most highs in the middle and upper 80s. Meanwhile, Joe, right now here, I got to the high in Blairsville at the airport was 71. I'm 61 right now. I don't. There was a very brief moment where there was like a little hole in the activity, and it brightened up. That was enough to send temperatures shooting higher ever so slightly, and now it's been settled back into the low. Basically, it was raining in 60s all day, and I'm just checking out on the 21Z map. I mean, you just really have temperatures, and I'm just checking out on the 21Z map. I mean, you just really have temperatures in the 80s, dew points that climbed up into the upper 60s. You get down into Georgia, you get down into Alabama, Mississippi. I mean, this was, again, just much like yesterday, really, really socked in, saturated tropical air. And of course, you had the energy aloft and the upper trough aloft, and the dynamics were there, setting off these thunderstorms that we've seen this evening on the radar so far.
Yeah, and as you mentioned at the onset, Joe, always very tough in the springtime to try to determine who's going to get what in terms of temperature and where the location of the front is. And it's kind of amazing. You shake your head. I mean, you see how chilly Boston is. We here, according to Renata, who looked at our weather station, she says that we got to 68. That's perfect. I mean, I could go with 68 all year long. And again, you mentioned 82 in Philadelphia, and temperatures in parts of Virginia closing in on 90. So it won't be long, I guess, before we get into that kind of air mass, although it's not going to apparently happen anytime soon, at least over the next few days. And in fact, the weekend up here in the Hudson Valley looks like it's going to be unseasonably cool, with temperatures mostly in the lower 60s instead of the upper 60s near 70 we normally see for the time right around Mother's Day weekend.
By the way, Joe, we are being graced with the presence tonight of the great Sal Blandino. He is on the chat board. Now, if we could get Ruben Fairchild, on the chat board, we'd have a double here. So they were having their own conversation on one of my YouTube videos from yesterday. Anyhow, I got the HRRR up because the HRRR seems to me has a good feel for what's on the radar. And if we carry this through the overnight, it's got these storms that are in eastern Pennsylvania kind of fire up in the next couple of hours. over you, at least with some rain. Some scattered thunderstorms in there. Then that area moves on up into central and northern New England. But here comes what's left of what's going on in the south. And of course, these thunderstorms start to really die out after 8 or 9 o'clock in the southeast. You see they sort of fall apart, but the remnant energy is what you see in Kentucky and West Virginia, and then that moves northeastward tomorrow morning into Pennsylvania, and then it starts to rev up with some showers and storms. It's actually got a fairly decent looking area. I don't want to use impressive because it's not quite impressive, but it does show a cluster of thunderstorms there moving through eastern Pennsylvania by 11 o'clock, by noontime. And there are some showers that are running across New Jersey and over Long Island, the Hudson Valley, and into southwestern Connecticut. This is as far as the 22Z goes. But once that plays through, you figure it should be out by, say, 2 o'clock or so in most, 1 to 2 o'clock in most places. The weather is going to get better. I think, Joe, it's going to get a little breezy on the backside of this late tomorrow night into Thursday morning. I don't think we're going to be blowing away. We better not be. Because I don't know if we can handle another wind event.
No, I don't think so either. It's been much too windy these last few weeks. And as I mentioned a few days ago, they always seem to be coming our way on a Friday. I say that, I know that because Friday here is what we call Carbingle Day here in Putnam Valley. In other words, that's the day that they take paper, plastics, your carbingle, and we have a container to put all of that in, but it's relatively lightweight. And in recent weeks, the winds has been knocking that thing down on its side. Even once it actually pushed it partway down the street or partway down the road that I live on. So it'd be nice if we could finish out the week without having to go through all that mayhem. Next really windy day, I think, Joe, around here. I mean, tomorrow's gonna be a little breezy, I think, but the next windy day might not come until the start of next week on Monday, when winds start to gust a bit, maybe out of the northwest.
Right.
Till then, though, nothing I don't think we can handle.
Right. So our developing wave tomorrow virtually moves right on top of central New Jersey, passing just south of the South Shore of Long Island on the latest GFS with that cluster of storms and some heavy rains. The GFS wants to take it over New Jersey and over Long Island and southern New England and the lower Hudson Valley for a couple of hours tomorrow. And then that moves out. We know Thursday should be okay. Now, here's the complication for Friday. So you see that stick of showers that runs from southwestern New York and then kind of curves down into eastern Kentucky and Tennessee. That's all part of the upper trough. You have this low that's off the North Carolina coast. I mean, if you remember back days ago, this model, not the others, but this model trying to make a huge storm, a huge coastal storm, and that's not going to happen. That's moving out to the east. The problem is that one wave goes out, and then, of course, the upper trough comes down and generates a second low Friday night. Now you've got this band of showers Friday evening from upstate New York down into eastern Virginia. I'm wondering whether there's these yellows showing up, if the GFS is trying to indicate that maybe there could be some convective activity in there. That low offshore taking longer to develop, the second wave, longer to get out. So Saturday morning, the GFS has got this band of showers from upstate New York moving south, basically south or southeastward across New Jersey, and then just offshore. And then, as you pointed out, lingering around during the afternoon as a low wraps up just south of Nova Scotia, where the gradient gets very, very tight. In fact, there's a little bit of light blue there for Saturday evening over Nova Scotia with a 980. I can't see it because it's kind of on the edge there. I think that's a 6. And then, of course, once that pulls out, the next system, that 94 low in southwest Kansas, gets ready to push eastward. And here we are Sunday morning with a low near St. Louis and rain into West Virginia. By afternoon, the rain is moving into eastern Pennsylvania. This particular run is a little slower than what the other runs were. It takes a little longer for the rain to get here, but I'm going to go with the idea that it's dry into early afternoon, and then the rains come in later in the afternoon and evening, and then the low, southern New Jersey moves on out, and then we get into what looks like, let's see, Monday morning, the rain's long gone, so maybe the daytime Monday won't be too bad. Tuesday looks okay, little breezy with this next high coming down. One thing's for sure, Joe, it's going to be cooler than that. The temperatures are going nowhere into early next week. That to me is a given.
Yeah, no question about that. I said that we'd probably be seeing below normal temperatures this weekend, and we're not going to be getting back to normal or even above normal for a little while. So get ready for that.
And by the way, there is snow on the GFS in Montana and Wyoming, and a Fruthless Goat is still on. There's some snow for parts of Colorado early next week, if this is correct. And then, of course, if we get a dry day on Tuesday, guess what? Here comes the next system for probably later Wednesday night or Thursday, bringing some rain or showers in. So it's a pretty busy, still a rather busy pattern, and it's a with the below normal temperatures, thanks to that northern part of the jet stream just still hanging on. It doesn't want to go away. Uh, it's going to be very hard unless you get an odd day like today, where you get a situation where you get a warm front to come on up. It's going to be really tough to string together more than a day of warm weather. And I'm just running through the upper air here just to give it a look see. I mean, if this pattern were in March, the snow lovers would probably be dancing in the streets with opportunities for snow. I mean, you still have this sort of blocky look up there around Greenland and in the Davis Strait, upper low, the vortex at 500 millibars anyway in James Bay, and the jet going all the way down into central Florida. I mean, look at this trough at the end of the week. My God, my goodness, look at that. Very, very cold air aloft again. I think the only thing that saves us is the fact that the trough is not nearly as sharp as what we saw last week. It does wrap up a cutoff there near Nova Scotia, and Nova Scotia and Newfoundland participate in an interesting coastal storm. Then that moves out, and then the rest of that upper low drops southeastward for Monday. Of course, and then you look in the west. There's an upper low that drops out of off the Pacific Northwest coast and drops into the Central Rockies, and maybe that's the Colorado snow that we saw there for next Monday and Tuesday. And then eventually that short wave gets kicked out to the east. There's no sign of any kind of heat ridge. Nothing. It's a very for May. This is a fairly dynamic looking upper air pattern that's taking us right through the middle part of the month.
Yeah, I think we're going to be in for a protracted spell of near or below normal temperatures. It's going to be maybe not until later in the month or even the start of June. I can't believe I'm even saying that, the start of June, before things start to balance out and maybe go back to near normal or even above normal in terms of temperatures. Till then, it looks like we're going to be in for a rather coolish weather pattern for the next week or two around here, Joe.
Steve Lapointe, thank you so much for hitting Super Chat. Best two for weather simplicity. We get complex, but we keep the complex simple. How's that? That works for me. And my buddy Silvio Balzano is on here. Nice to see you on, Silvio. And we have our friend from overseas, from the UK, Coin Pig. He's on the chat board tonight. And everybody, big hello to everyone that has taken the time out to watch our show. Another day with all this severe weather and still, at least for the Northeast, still waiting to try to string together a couple of nice days back to back. So you have Briller Jeopardy, and the chairman's.
Yes, I do.
Yes, the chairman's birthday, I believe, is coming up. So
May the 10th.
Yes. So just wanted to make a note of that.
We take note of these things.
Yes, we do. We pay attention. So I'm getting my little yellow pad and my pen because it's my turn to do, to pick out on to figure out the list. But I don't know what the list is because I have not seen it.
Okay, well, I'm going to give it to you as soon as I find Mr. Briller's uh, message here that he sent to me, I know, yesterday or thereabouts. Here we go. Yes, and these are for you, Joe. The category, these actually said, just kidding. Initially, he says, these 10 states average the most partly cloudy days annually. And he says, just kidding, LOL. All right, so what is the real set of questions for tonight? According to NOAA, these 10 states are the driest, and we include all 50 states, not contiguous, but the entire US of A. Baseball rules apply. Hint, go, well, that's nice. He does give you a hint. Go west, young man, the 10 driest United States,
All right,
or the 10
so
driest states in the
let's
Union.
let's see if we can knock off. Let's knock off Arizona, Arizona, Nevada, Utah, New Mexico.
They're all on the list. They are all on the list. Nevada is number 1. Utah is number 2. Did you say New Mexico?
I did. The land of enchantment.
That's number 5 on the list.
Okay.
And what other ones did you mention?
Azarona.
They are number 4. So there you go, Joe. You got 1, 2, 4, and 5.
All right. Well, let's throw in Colorado in there.
Colorado's lucky number 7.
2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. Colorado is number 7. Okay. So, hmm. Nebraska.
Nebraska. Is that on the list? Strike one.
Oh, okay. See, because it's so much different in Kansas.
Is Kansas your final answer?
Yes.
Strike 2.
Really? Oh boy.
Believe it or not.
Nevada, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado. Well, why not? Let's put, Idaho.
Idaho is on the list. It is number 9.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Idaho. So I've got 6 of them. So that leaves me with 4.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm going to give you a hint, Joe. 2 of those states have almost the same name.
2 of those states have almost the same name, like Kansas and Arkansas?
No, not like that.
2 states have almost the same name. Oh, okay.
Right.
Well, I was wondering whether I was going to go with this direction. So, North and South Dakota.
That's right. You got them. 8 and 10.
Okay.
Now, wait a minute. Did you say Idaho before?
Yes.
We just had an umpire review, and the umpire review has just overturned my strike. And indeed, Idaho is on the list at number 9. Apparently,
yeah,
I was blind and did not see that.
I think you did. Oh, okay. Well, no, I have it written down here, so I thought you said it was that you gave it to me. So
Did I give that
all right.
to you?
So here's what
9?
I have. Here's what I have
All
so
right.
far: Nevada, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado,
Right.
North and South Dakota, and Idaho. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the ones that I missed, I said Nebraska and Kansas, and you said those aren't there.
Right. They're not there.
Right. And okay, so let's give this a Oklahoma, where the wind blows whistling
Oklahoma,
down the right, where the wind blows whistling down the plain.
strike three, you're out.
All right. So what are the two? Number three is kind of perplexing me. Um, and, you know,
Why?
well, I mean, is it Montana and
Why?
Wyoming the missing two?
Why? Well, I was saying why for number three,
So Wyoming,
Wyoming.
okay.
Yes,
And who's the what
number
was
three,
and what was number six? Montana?
Big Sky Country,
Montana.
Montana.
All right. Well, you know what? My I was in the general vicinity therein. Yeah, that's
Yes, you
all right.
were.
Yeah. All right. So I got eight before I got knocked out. Got knocked out of the competition.
Whatever. We'll see what happens tomorrow night. Silvio Balzano says, channeling
My
your
best
best,
West.
Joe. West, your
Channeling
best
my best
West.
West. Yes. Arizona, Chuck Cardillo wrote Arizona, California, Nevada, Utah, New Mexico, Idaho, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana. Not California. You know, Southern California
And by the
might
way,
might have made it, but not Northern California.
I only do that umpire call because Keith James II loves it.
Oh
So,
yeah, no. It's wonderful that you're
well,
calling balls and strikes.
yes.
So
So,
hmm, it was something I wanted to bring up with you. Now I forgot what it was. I have to write these things down. I'm getting my brain is like jello. And it doesn't help that the weather was the way it was today, where it rained all day. So my head is somewhere, somewhere else.
yes. Well, tomorrow, 2:34 p.m., Cinco de Mayo, we will arrive at the halfway point of spring. Midpoint of spring tomorrow at 2:34 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, halfway between the vernal equinox and the summer solstice. So, tomorrow, Cinco de Mayo, will be halfway to summer. And you know what I'm going to miss, Joe, is those special Cinco de Mayo lunches that Ralph used to prepare for us
Yes,
at our old stomping grounds
yes.
at Fios One.
Ralph was great. He
Yes,
never, when it came to food, he never went cheap. He always got
yes,
good food, uh, and it wasn't always pizza, which was another plus.
correct,
Yes.
correct. So there you go.
Yes. All right. So you know what? Let's wrap it up for tonight. Thanks everybody for being here as always. We appreciate the fact that many of you are here night after night, and that is great. Joe and I will be back tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern time, and we'll see what the weather gods bring us for the rest of the week and for the weekend. And we are 11 days away, Joe. 11 days away from the first tropical weather outlook of excuse me of the well the outlooks will start on May 15th, but the hurricane season does not officially start until June 1st. And we've seen I think we've had a named storm in the month of May. Was it 4 out of 5 or 5 out of the last 6 years, something like that?
Something like that. Something like that. We've got 27 days in this month to go. So who knows what's coming our way in the upcoming next few weeks?
Yep,
We'll see.
yep. All right, everybody. Thanks again, and thank you, Steve Lapointe, for hitting super chat tonight. Most appreciated as always. And we see you guys tomorrow, and gals. We'll see you both tomorrow. It's 7:30 Eastern time. Good night, everybody.
Night, night.